Well, the BBEG for the game was an LE king turned tyrant, being backed up by the god of tyrants, a long-forgotten god, which basically meant that he wasn't worshipped actively. But anyone who was a tyrant counted as a worshipper of his, despite worshipping other gods. So he got auto-cleric levels. The game was all about Ozzmar and I, going to this new, unknown country, to try and spread the word of our religion at the start, until we realized their king was a dickhead of the greatest magnitude. At which point Ozzmar got disgruntled by the evil in the air around him and decided that he was going to turn this country around. And the rest of us were along for the ride on the righteous tidal wave that was Ozzmar. After many epic adventures, the game comes to a climax with a revolt led by Ozzmar, me and the ranger assassin in the capital city, which pretty much failed. We were stuck behind a barricade, with the king's men raining hell down on us for days on end, us giving almost as good as we get. There's too many of them. You know how it works. When Ozzmar sees the king watching from the sidelines, and bellows a challenge for leadership of the country at him. One of the king's laws was that you could challenge anyone for anything. Might makes right. Now his entire army hears this challenge, and obviously they know he can't back down from it. Then the king says,
"Sure, whatever. Get my fucking huge sword and armor and let's do this. Then your entire revolt in mine, and it's off to the ball-twisting implements with you all. Even the women."
Circle is drawn in neutral ground. The two parties meet, with ex-Blackguard as Osmond's second, and the king's general as his second. Now the thing about this king and his relationship with the god is, he was the last tyrant alive at this time, and if there are no worshippers of a forgotten god, you're gone for good, and a new one will appear when and as they are needed. And Ozzmar's a fucking good fighter. So this god is shitting enough bricks to build New York. He tells the king to cheat, takes over him, and puts on a few poisoned rings. When he shakes Ozzmar's hand, schwink, -10 to strength and con, as well as being blinded and a few other mixed statuses in the form of liquid curses. Ozzmar's greatest abilities, down the drain. Before Ozzmar can call out this treachery, the king smacks him in the gob with his pommel and the fight begins. Ozzmar does his best, but needless to say, he's getting fucked up bad. When the God King makes his mistake all tyrants make, he starts gloating. He starts going on about how
the weak are pathetic and don't deserve protection.
About how
men are wolves, and here's the biggest motherfucking alpha wolf there is.
About how
good is stupid, honor is restraint, and respect is others is pathetic and shit.
Ozzmar's annoyed at the puny man dissing on his principles. Ozzmar pulls a trick we've not seen in months of leveling, because he never needed it. Ozzmar, righteous rages. Feat kicks in, results are rolled, tables brought out. Ozzmar is healed, back on full health, basically sweats the poison out and gives off a bellow that sends half the king's men running away with liquid fear running down the insides of their legs. A man possessed by God itself stumbles at his bellow, this roar of anger against the sheer injustice of the world, and the fury against the darkness he and the man he possessed represent. That malicious evil that thinks it can get away with the things because good men won't fight back, or aren't smart enough to fight them. And then Ozzmar brings up his weapon, and stands over the fallen king for a moment, before saying 5 words. Get up, and face me. He waits until his opponent stands, and then swings his club into him, breaking his entire shield arm in one hit as he tries to protect himself. The king screams out to his troops to fire on the battlefield. They do so. Ozzmar asks the GM if he can roll Divine Intervention. He fails, but uses a once-a-day item to roll twice, and passes. The arrows and bolts stop in midair. The general tries to enter the arena and is boiled in his armor by the fire of the line that surrounds them, effectively disintegrating him in his suit as the god of fair battle himself looks down on this betrayal of his greatest warrior and goes,
"No, this shall be a fair battle."
Ozzmar brings his weapon in again, and drives the crowned helmet so deep into the man's head, that it can never be removed from the body of the armor again, then stands, bellowing in the circle. The god of tyrants tries to escape, taking no physical form, but Ozzmar grapples and starts hitting it using Smite Evil, literally holding and beating on a dying god down in the dueling ring using nothing but the force of his own righteousness and hatred of evil, and punches it in its evil face until it stops spasming and finally disperses away. Ozzmar was now king. Ozzmar took the crown that his new generals offered him and looked at it, and then nodded and said, "I'm not smart enough to be a king." Ozzmar gave this away to his church, creating a council of 12 members, 6 clergymen, 6 randomly chosen peasants who each served for a maximum time. And he went back to the road. When asked why turn down this great offer? This chance to be a king and have everything he wanted? He answered, "Because I do not need it. I have all I wish here. It is my place to fight evil face to face, not as a figurehead. I have evil before me, my weapon at my side, good and just friends to battle alongside, and the war eternal to battle in the name of my God. What more could make me happy?" Ozzmar then moves on, with us all being dragged along in his wake. What happens next, I don't know.